All right, I'm gonna just leave this right here. I'm probably gonna go back and change the title of this video, but I'm gonna go ahead and record this video live. I just got off Facebook talking about it. I really don't care who agrees with me or who disagrees with me, but if you've been following me, I've been very open about my childhood trauma, the abuse that I faced, the sexual abuse I faced, the emotional abuse, the physical abuse, and um, how it has impacted my life and every decision that I have made. And I don't usually do videos on things that I see on the internet, but this right here, I've been seeing this video floating around for 2 years. And I'm going to give you guys my honest, raw of opinion of what I see in this video, um, and how I feel about it. So, um, first of all, I'm just going to say that I do think children need to be disciplined. I don't think the only form of discipline should be corporal. I feel like there's other ways of disciplining your children. Now, is it okay to spank your children on their backside or pop their little hands or their little legs if it's needed? Some children, you have to talk to them, you have to constantly talk to them, you can take things from them. The only thing they may respond to is that. But I think that should be something that I'm doing fine, Miss Diva. I think that should be something that's so far in between that children can't even think about it, or if they do think about it, they go, "Well, I probably, I did something wrong." Um, I don't believe in really beating children, or I really think that I really feel like hitting children is wrong, but I think that sometimes you need to spank your kids to get their attention. But I feel like it should be a last resort, and it should only be used when a child is doing something. Hey, from California, when a child is doing something that is putting their life in danger, or is doing something that is so reckless that it can hurt somebody else, and then that's the only way you can get their attention. Other than that, I am 100% against hitting kids. So it's this video. Y'all see the picture that's been floating around Facebook of this young woman going to the school with her friend, getting her kid out of the cafeteria after talking to his teacher. And she went into the cafeteria, and this little boy realized that his mother was there. He ran up to her to hug her. She then jacked him up by his shirt, proceeded to start cussing at him, drug him out of the cafeteria in front of all of his classmates, all the kids that probably in his age group, proceeded to take him to the teacher and started to verbally and physically abuse him. Now, some people say the little boy need his ass tore up. That's what's wrong with the children nowadays. Let me just tell y'all something. When my generation was coming up, people say the same thing about us. They said we weren't going to be productive. We were all going to be failures. We're going to all be strung out on drugs. And we have some of the most intelligent people in my generation who are millennials. Okay? They have created jobs for people that are their parents' age, who have pioneered some of the most advanced technologies, who are doing things to really help this country and this world. So no generation is ever lost. Okay? Let's get that straight. Um, we grew up in a different time, just like our grandparents grew up in a different time. However, no generation is completely lost. Just because people are not raising their children the way that you were raised or that your grandparents were raised does not make that generation lost. Let's just get that straight, okay? Because us millennials weren't supposed to amount to anything. We weren't going to do anything, and we were lazy. And that's basically how they painted us. Yes, they did arrest her, and I'm happy that they arrested her. So no generation is ever lost. What I have learned is that you can take what you learn from your parents on how to discipline and rear a child, and you can modify to fit your child. Every child cannot be raised the same. Some children you may have to spank. Some children you can talk to them, and they will do whatever you tell them because they don't want to disappoint you. Some children are going to be rebels. Some children have emotional issues. Some children have learning disabilities. Okay. And there's a lot of factors that go into the behavior of a child. And I think the biggest factor that people don't want to talk about is your children do what they see at home. Hey, Toss. Okay. Children do and say what they see at home. Our personalities are formed by our surroundings and our parents, or unless we have mental issues. And then that's going to be something that is different. But your behavior when you are a small child, I want to say under the age of about 12, is going to be what you see at home. As you get older and you start to realize, okay, I don't like how my parents are living. I don't like how my family is living. I don't want this same situation for myself. I don't want to be like these people. Then you can start to change who you are as a person. But when you're small, your behavior is going to be what you see at home. So if you see people at your house wilding out, drinking, smoking, cussing, twerking, being loud, your mama out in public cussing the people out at the drive-through, she don't have no respect for her mama, your grandmama don't have no respect for her, your child is going to emulate that. Okay? So let's get that straight. And people, I'm just going to call a spade, especially in the African American community and in the brown community. Stop telling your children and your teenagers, do as I say and not as I do. They do mimic what they see. I'm going to say this one more time because I want everybody to feel this all in their spirit. Stop telling your kids and your teenagers, do as I say and not what I do. Because children learn from their parents. Hello, Howard. Children learn from their parents and their guardians and the people around them. So if you don't want your child to go out of the house and act a damn fool and cuss people out, act like a tyrant in class, then you stop acting like a goddamn fool. Okay? You're fine. You stop acting like a fool if you don't want your children to go out of the house acting like a fool. If you don't want your baby twerking, stop listening to twerking music around your kids. Stop twerking in front of your kids and posting it every goddamn where. Stop acting crazy. Now, a lot of people get mad when they see little kids dancing. Okay? I'm going to tell y'all this. When my little sister was little, they used to toot their little booty over and do like this. Now, when people see kids doing that, they think the children are twerking or doing something. That's how baby moves. They ain't got the rhythm or the coordination to know how to twerk. Because people have sexualized women in our society, every time a little girl does something that my generation would have done or they would have done, is sexualized. Okay? So let's just think about the society we're living in. And I'm about to get on a real rant because you got to be responsible for your kids. No, I don't have children. But when my niece and nephew are in my house, there are just certain things that I don't do. Okay? Like I really try not to cuss at all. I don't play certain music when they're around. You have to censor yourself when you have small children around. Okay? That's for anybody. Even if they're not your kids. Censor yourself because children are going to do what they see. Okay, this mother, obviously she has been abused in her life. Now I give her no passes because I give no fucks about her. Because if you was abused and mistreated and cussed out and belittled as a child, you should not be doing it to your child. Okay, you know how you feel. I don't care what nobody say. When you were a child and your parents, you had feelings too. Stop forgetting what it feels like to be a motherfucking child. Because you know what affected you as a child. Every adult knows what it feels like to be a child and have your feelings hurt. And you think about it. And it comes across when you see certain family members. Or when you're around them, or when you go certain places, you be like, I remember when such and such did this to me. That is PTSD. And I'm going to tell y'all, there are a lot of people in the Black community, and white and Hispanic, all of them, who don't realize that they're suffering from childhood abuse has led them to be the crazy maniacs that they are because they have PTSD. They don't. People be like, "Oh, she bipolar. She always explodes." No, she got PTSD. Sis, he got PTSD, and now he can't control his emotions because that part of the brain is affected. When a child is abused or neglected, the brain changes. Point blank simple. Now you can go to counseling, you can take medication, you can do a lot of things to help yourself, but your brain changes. You help yourself, but your brain changes. You're never going to be the same. You're never going to function normal. And if you have any other mental health issues on top of that, you jacked until you can get yourself into counseling. And I'm not saying this to be saying it. I know from personal experience. Okay? And yes, and you can live with it. And that is where my trauma comes from. Okay? What this mother did was disgusting. She called her baby a nigga. She got in his face and said, "You nigga." Okay? What kind of mama do that to her? Your baby, he's a black man. He's a king. He got to be somebody, my daddy, somebody husband. Okay? He gonna be a lover of a woman, maybe a black woman. He might choose to not be with a black woman because you're the example of a black woman. So now when he walk out to the world and he see a black woman, he gonna be disgusted with her because you are what he saw at home. And that's why he may choose to be negative towards black women or to talk down to them and belittle them. I know for a fact that I have friends who will not date black women because of how their mama was. And y'all, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm being honest. They would not look at certain black women because of how their mama is, how their grandmama is, and how their cousin is. And they think less of us because how they were treated by the very beings that were supposed to nurture them. Okay? So when people get on to black men, and I'm not taking up for them, but when they see a lot of black men have negative attitudes towards black women, this is why. Because the main people who were supposed to nurture them probably mistreated them, probably hurt their feelings, probably cussed them out, probably dogged them out. And that could have been mama, grandmama, aunt, or sister, or somebody older than them. And that can go for any race. When you meet, and I don't think that I've dated interracially. Not everybody who date interracially is dodging their own race because of what their parents have done. Some people just love dating people outside their race. They like the swirl. Okay, I'm down for the swirl. Okay, my husband just happens to be black. Okay, you love who you love, but a lot of time when you see black men who have this negative perception of black women, this is where it comes from. And I don't care if you get mad and leave a comment or say that's not true. Yes, it is true. We just don't want to talk about it. Okay? I'm going to be real honest with y'all. Okay? I have a friend. He is gay. And he is only gay in a sense to he doesn't like women because of the abuse he suffered from his grandmother and his mom. And then he was sexually abused by one of his aunts. He can't be attracted to women because the emotional abuse that he suffered. And he's not in a sexual relationship with men for sex. It's because he feels safe with them. Because the only male that he knew that was nurturing was a school teacher. And it's so hard for him now because he doesn't want to live the lifestyle as a homosexual or as a gay man, but he doesn't know what else to do because he's realizing now that he's really attracted to women, but he lived his younger 20s and the early part of his 30s like that because of the trauma that he suffered from his family. And now it's all out in social media that he dated men. So now he feels like his chances of finding a wife or finding a woman is going to be hard for him. And there are some women that will not date a man who slept with another man. They don't understand. Not all people make the decisions on their sexuality based because that's what they like. Some of it is emotional. You have some women, after they get out of abusive relationships, they only date women because they can't trust a man. People have different reasons for why. Some people are born gay. I believe that. I have friends, I knew that they was gay or lesbian when we was little. Okay? I have a classmate right now. I knew he was different. He been born that way. He has always been that way. But then I also have talked with people who are only living homosexual lifestyles because of the abuse they suffered as a child. So you got to think childhood abuse affects people in different ways. It can affect their emotional behavior, their ability to hold down a job, their ability to have meaningful relationships because they have attachment issues. It can impact their sexuality, their ability to gain and keep a partner, no matter what their sexuality was. It can it's also affect them economically. It can affect them mentally, emotional health. It's a lot that goes behind the ramifications of child abuse. Okay? This little boy, I very seriously doubt that this was a first time offense that this mother has done this to him. She probably has done worse to him. No child should be. She not only did she cuss him out, emotionally abuse him, physically abuse him, she taunted him. She got in his face and called him a nigger, y'all. That is so fucking disgusting. The way she was talking to him, she was treating this probably 7-year old like he was a 20-year-old man who didn't pay come up on his rent money. She was in his face. Now you have to ask yourself, well, how did the child learn this behavior? What is he seeing? And she got on Jordans and she got her nice jeans on, and this baby is walking around in fucking flood pants and ashy. Yes, she did. And the video is floating all over Facebook. I just took a couple screenshots to use it for the thumbnail, okay? But something is seriously wrong with her. It does. It affects every functioning part of your life. Y'all, I have been in and out of therapy for so many years. In and out of therapy for years. And I have attachment issues. I can only get attached to certain people. And I have no problem with cutting people off. I used to really talk about it with my ex-best friend, but she did something to be cut off. I can walk away from people so easily. Especially if I meet them. If the connection is not more than 2 years, you're disposable. And I'm just being honest. I'm not good at holding or maintaining friendships. I try. I don't like getting really close to people. I've gotten to a point where I've cut my biological father off because of the things he did to me. I have even separated myself from certain family members, and they still don't even know it yet. Recently. They don't even know it. My PTSD is awful at times. Y'all, childhood trauma will follow people for years. Even I have debt because of therapy. Okay, I have student loans, but you want to know where the money from my student loans went? For me to go there because I didn't have insurance, but I was so desperate for help. When I was in college, I took out extra money so that I could pay for private therapy. Okay, that's how desperate I was. I have loans, student loans that I created so that I could pay for therapy. That's crazy, right? But I knew that I needed to go and I didn't have any insurance and I needed help. I needed help in the worst way. Do I regret it? No. Do I hate looking at them student loans? Yes. Sometimes I'd be tempted to say, hey, everybody just donate $1. That'll get rid of my loans. You know, if everybody on my channel donated $1, my loans would be gone, okay? But I don't do that. But I'm just saying that's how my mind works since I'm so tired of these loans. And every time I look at the loan paper, I get mad because I think I wouldn't have this much money in student loans if I wouldn't have had to take out the extra money to take my black ass to therapy because of what my family did me. So my family, in fact, has cost me money. I'm paying for it. Literally. Okay? And I'm not saying it's all of my family. It's definitely not all of my family, but there were some significant characters. And the reason I'm upset with some of them because they didn't do anything to stop it. They sat there and they laughed. And the lady who recorded this video, I hope that bitch go to jail too. Because it was funny to her. It was cute to her. She posted it. And then when I followed her page last night, like I really, before I made this video and I made my comment on YouTube, on Facebook today, I looked up to see the girl who posted it and she was like, that's not me. That's not my child. Get off my motherfucking page. But bitch, you posted it. So you need to be your ass in jail too because you know that she was going there to commit a crime. You knew she was going there to humiliate that poor baby. To beat him, to demean him, to break his beautiful black spirit. Bitch, you need to go to jail too. I'm going to say this. If you have children and your children are constantly getting in trouble at school, take your children to counseling. Okay? If you know that you work with your children at home and they do their work at home and they can't do it at school, take your child to have them evaluated. I was in the 8th grade before I got a full evaluation. I had one little one when I was in the 7th grade, and they took me back the 8th grade year to the Alabama Department of Resources. It's a center in Mobile. And when they evaluated me, they learned that I not only had ADHD, they were trying to figure out how I was functioning at all because it was off the chart. And 2, I had dyslexia. So I have dyslexia and ADD. Can you imagine what that is like dealing as a child? And then you have family members who constantly tell you you dumb, you can't read, you can't spell, you gonna be on welfare, you gonna be living in the projects, your baby daddy gonna be beating your ass, you ain't gonna know who your baby daddies is, you gonna be down at the food stamp office like your mama was, you ain't gonna be shit, calling me a prostitute, saying that I was sleeping with people because I had stretch marks and my breasts were big because I was letting men suck on them. Y'all don't understand. That shit made me crazy. And that is where the name Bam came from because Bam was the person that would come out of me when people would fuck with me. And my family thinks that I was just explosive and violent. No, y'all was doing stuff to me that made me act crazy. And was the first sign of PTSD. I would do shit and not even realize that I did it. And I'd be like, I didn't do that. I would blank the fuck out. People play about PTSD, but I literally remember spots of what happened. And y'all, I'm not gonna lie, my brother-in-law got a full experience of it over the phone the other night. No, they don't. They know it's not tough love. They know it's not tough. Your family know tough love. My grandfather knew tough love. When you go to my grandfather and you say I need money for something, and he know you ain't did what's right, he wouldn't tell you no. He tell you, I won't loan it to you. I'll give you half of it, and you go out there and figure out how to fix the rest of yourself. Tough love is aiding, not neglecting. It's pushing, showing them, guiding them in the right direction with the minimum amount of help and making them stand on their feet to be responsible for the rest. That is tough love. Tough love is saying, I won't turn my back on you, but I cannot fix this situation for you, but I will be here to support you emotionally and help you with what I can. People think turning their back and walking away from people or dismissing people is tough love. No, it's not. There's a difference. There's, like you said, there's a difference between tough love and abuse. There is definitely a difference. There's a difference. And why in our community do we feel like we need to beat our children all the time? And people look down on people who don't beat their children all the time. Like, you as a parent, why are you so frustrated with a child? You always say stay in a child place, you're a child, but you can't control your emotions. You're the adult. You want a child to control their emotions. When they get upset, I hate this. You keep crying, I'm gonna give you something to cry about. If you can't control your emotions, what the hell make you think a child who's learning about how they feel or trying and or they're learning about life, you expect them to stop crying when their feelings hurt or something is bothering them or you get on to them? They're learning at that age how to process their emotions. But you telling them not to cry, or you gonna get them something to cry for, and then they keep crying, and you beat the hell out of them. What is wrong with you? Obviously, you couldn't control your emotions because you didn't know how to handle a crying child, so you felt like inflicting physical pain on them would stop them from crying. Hell no, they're not gonna stop crying. They're gonna keep crying, you idiot. Yes, people think they're giving out tough love, but they're gonna end up with some psychos. And if you keep abusing your children, one or two things, a couple things gonna happen. They might actually put your ass in a nursing home when you get older, or they may be disrespectful towards you. They may not want nothing to do with you. They might not want to be with somebody who look like you. And see, that's what I'm saying. Children don't have to be whipped all the time to get something through their head. If your child is having that many problems, take your child and have them evaluated. Take them and have them to talk to somebody. A lot of people, I feel like, don't want, because what goes on in my house stays in my house. Yeah, and that little kid gonna come out your house acting crazy, and you gonna do something stupid. Because that's how they feeling. Take your children and have them evaluated. And what I've found, a lot of people who knowingly mistreat their children or know they don't talk to their children right, or who physically or emotionally abuse their children, they don't want to take their children to get help. They don't want to take their children to see a psychiatrist or talk to a therapist or to a doctor to see what their behavior problems is, because they know that they trifling ass is gonna get exposed as soon as that child go in there and start telling people what's going on. They are. People are really cruel. And they wonder why. You ever meet a guy? You ever see those little kids in elementary school, little boys? They so aggressive. They so nasty towards little girls. They want to fight everybody. And then you see their mama. And then they grow up and they act like psychos and they beat their girlfriends and they have issues. That's because they got their mama. They love their mama. Their mama the best thing in the world. They will never admit that their mama was the one who emotionally and physically abused them. And this is why, because their mama play mind games. Let me tell you what abusers do to their children. I took care of you. I fed you. I clothed you. I put a roof over your head. And you can't even help me pay a bill after all I did for you. When I hear a parent say that, because they child don't want nothing to do with them, alarm bells go off in my head. And the first alarm bell that goes off in my head is you're trying to guilt your child to be there for you because you did what you were supposed to do as a parent. When you had them, that was your job to feed them. That was your job to get your ass up and go out there and work to take care of them. That was your job as a parent to put a roof over their head. Now, you may have done all the physical stuff, but what did you give your child emotionally? And that's why they look at you the way they do. That's why they don't want nothing to do with your sour puss face ass. Because you were emotionally unavailable. You were emotionally abusive. And most of the times, it can be stemming from the way they feel about the dad. I see a lot of young men who are mistreated and abused by their mothers. And they dad say, their mama say, you're going to be just like your no good, sorry ass daddy. and that child catch hell. That little boy or little girl catch hell from their mama. Everything they do gonna be wrong. They gonna be treated different than they sibling. And don't let the other sibling dad do more for that child than the other dad does. Oh, that child gonna really catch hell. You're just like your sorry ass daddy. And a lot of people don't want to admit it. A lot of women, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, mistreat their children because of how they feel about the daddy. I'm just gonna say it. Now I said it. Who gonna check me, boo? Who gonna whoop my ass? If anybody get offended by this video, then I must have hit a nerve, and I don't give a damn. How about that? Because right is right, wrong is wrong. What that lady did to that little boy in that video that's floating around Facebook is fucking disgusting. And she needs to be locked up. And she needs to have her children taken. I don't agree with putting children in foster care because children in foster care get abused worse than they do at home. So sometimes foster care is not the option. But we do need to do a better job at children who are removed from the home being put in safe places. They need to do background checks. They need to do lie detectors. They need to do more to check the people these children are being placed with, because this little boy could be leaving a really fucked up situation and getting into a worse one. It's not the child's fault, but that's how some parents are. That's how some people are. And don't think that people who look normal and perfect are always perfect. You see my picture, I look like a fucking angel. I look perfect. I look normal. Y'all, I'm not normal. I'm not perfect. I got flaws. I got issues. And y'all know it. The only difference between me and most of my family, what I think irritates them the most is that I've always been me. I've always been me. I have never changed. I've always been loud. I've always been talkative. I've always said what was on my mind. I've always wore what the fuck I wanted to wear. I've always dressed how I wanted to. I always wore my hair. I always been friends with people I wanted to be with. I never felt the need to hide my good, bad, or ugly. Because if I did it, I did it. If you catch me, if I'm doing something I ain't got no business doing, I'm gonna be like, well, hell, you caught me. Now what? What we gonna do about it? I did it. I'm me at the end of the day. And that burns some people asses. Okay, right now I got a couple of aunts who talked about me because of a video I put up on Facebook. And because I showed up at a party with some jeans on and a jean jacket and a bra. A swimming suit top bra. Y'all remember that video that Get Ready With Me when I put that white bra on and those jeans and I was like, I'm about to have a hot girl summer the last day? Yes. I got family members talking about me right now. They done said some real nasty things about me. Ask me if I care. But you know what? They won't say it to my face. And if they do, ask me if I care. Because I'm going to say what I got to say. I'm grown. And I've just, this what it is. People are crazy. Like, they be doing the most for nothing. And when they do the most for nothing, I give them the most for nothing. Mm-hmm. So do. But that's the reason why children do the things they do. I'm just gonna say it. And that's what it is. If you act like an animal, your child gonna act like an animal. If you act like a thought and whore in front of your children are gonna do the same thing until they get old enough to realize that this is not right. So whatever you do in front of your children, you need to be prepared for your children to do it outside of your house, basically. So if your children is running around acting a fool at school, because you know you show your ass at home, or they see you cussing people out in the grocery store or getting an attitude, or you cussing, bitch, move out my way, because I do it, but not when the kids in the car, okay? But if your kids see you doing that, then honey, they gonna be some little disrespectful animals too, because they see you do And if mama can do it, and if daddy can do it, and if grandma can do it, then guess what, baby? They gonna do it too. So is. And that's not even if they ain't got no behavior problems. They gonna do it because it's learned behavior. You know what they say? The apple don't fall too far from the tree. So if you go ride an apple that's and fell from the tree, your kids gonna do the same damn thing. Live better, be a better human, so that your children can be better. Oh yeah, my granddaddy would tell me cuss their ass out if they start talking crazy to you. But his rule was if they do something to you, you have every right to return the favor. But that's a different thing. So yes, that's different. But if you ain't, I mean, you just see a bitch in the, excuse me, a person in the store, and they order wrong, and they flip out, they start talking crazy. Bitch, you work at McDonald's, you do this, bitch, you ain't got shit, da 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 da. Chances are they've seen that from their mother or their grandmama or somebody who raised them. And yes, I understand. Kids are gonna do what they want to do when they get older. You can do everything in your power to teach your kid to do the right thing, and they still might do other. True, that's different. But you got to think. You might be teaching them one thing, but they seeing another. If you're gonna teach them something, you got to be the example. You can tell your children to behave and not be disrespectful and not to be rude, nasty individuals, or not to fight and not to cuss and not to do certain things. But you're doing the same thing in your home. You're telling them one thing, but you're showing them another. We are visual creatures. We learn with our eyes. That's why God gave them to us. And our senses. And our emotions and our feelings. So if you are showing your kids one thing and telling them another, don't be surprised. Because they might act like little saints around you because they scared you're going to knock their ass halfway across the room. But when they get out in public, they going to act just like mini me's, mini yous. So yeah. That's why I felt, because how he looked, y'all. And obviously she don't never come to the school. She was just mad that they made her come to the school. They called her to talk to her. And they got her lazy ass up from doing something she wanted to do. We do learn with our eyes. It's crazy. My heart breaks, like, for that baby. And people wonder why I don't have kids. I'll just be honest with y'all. I'm going to sit down and do a whole video. My watch always singing. Yeah, it's awful. That was so embarrassing. There's no reason to justify it. Yeah, the child can change if the mother is willing to change. It's easy to teach and train a child or to reteach and change a child. The problem is when you become an adult, it's harder to change. I'm just my recap on how I feel about the video with the little boy that's floating around Facebook. Like, that made me nauseous. It made me sick. It did. It really broke my heart. It really did. That was too disturbing to me. to get in your child face and talk to them and be. It's something you do when you finna beat a bitch up who done did something real bad to you. Not your child. Well, y'all, I gotta go. I'll see y'all here tonight at 7:30. We cooking vegan spaghetti. We cooking vegan spaghetti today. Okay? That's dinner. Vegan spaghetti. Live. 7:30. It's a real quick, easy vegan meal. It's intended to show people how to start eating vegan meals. It's an easy way to jump into veganism with a dish that everybody loves. You have a good one too. So I'll see y'all at 7:30. Y'all, that video just bothered my soul. But yeah, I love y'all and have a good day. I don't give a damn who get mad, but it's the truth will set you free. Excuse me. Y'all have a good day. I got good.